What's up, babes? Welcome back to another Lily Bay vlog. Aquí ando con Mando, pero he's irrelevant right now. This is all about me, us, and you guys. That's it. Not just kidding, right, babe?
No pasa nada.
We're actually in LA. We're in LA. On my way to go get my hair extensions done, which I wanted to do like a little Q&A or show you guys how they put them in and how I take care of them and all that spiel. So yeah, we're on our way. Shout out to Pero Noches. They let us borrow one of their cars. Yeah, so pa' allá vamos. Pa' allá vamos, míranos. ¿Dónde estamos, babe? I don't even know where we're at.
I have no idea where we're at. But luckily we got the maps and ahí vamos, ahí vamos. 5 minutes llegamos, guys.
And it's not only going to be questions for one type of extensions. I've actually also have had tape-ins and clip-ins, so I'm gonna answer all of those questions. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, ya llegamos. You already know. They got plantas, which is why I love it. Yum! I got an avocado toast. No sé qué trae, but looks good. Do you like it, babe?
Dang! That's good, that's good. Give us an update.
I don't have Amazon hair no more.
Dang. Why you look so happy?
Because I'm finally not pelona. From a pelona to a bad bitch.
Is this normally how long it takes, or she was faster this time?
No, so this time I already had my hair dyed. So all she had to do was add the extensions. And I actually did a Brazilian blowout, which I always recommend for you to get. If you have frizzy hair, like, it's a game changer. So yeah, and I feel like we took less than 3 hours, right?
Yeah, it was less.
Brazilian blowout, the eye tips, and the haircut, so. Okay, ya vete.
Alright, see you guys.
Yo, what is up, you guys? Como ven, ya estamos back at home. We finally made it home, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait to make this video till when I get back at home, so I have some examples to show you, and so I'm not like rushing, because while we were out there in LA, era puro pinche party up and down all over the place. So let's get right into today's video. So today I'm answering questions that a lot of you guys wrote me on my personal Instagram, which in case you don't follow me, I'm gonna leave it right here. I asked you guys to send me any questions you guys might have regarding hair extensions, because you guys, I've been getting hair extensions for the past, I wanna say like 10 to 12 years, if not even longer. In no way am I a professional. Do I know everything there is to know about extensions? But I can give you guys some feedback as to my experience with different hair extensions that I've tried in the past, which I've tried clip-ins, tape-ins, and now the ones that I have on are micro beads. So as you guys see here, I have a ton of questions from you guys. And if you see that I keep looking that way, it's porque I can see myself over here. But I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna have the questions right in front of me. I'm also gonna try to give you as many examples and pictures as I can so you can better understand how long do they last. Oh, I feel like most of the extensions that you could use today, like the L-tips, tape-ins, and even the weft, I feel like they all last about 2 months max until you have to go get them redone. What do I mean? In 2 months, your hair grows out about what, almost 2 inches? So obviously your extensions start growing out with your hair. And in 2 months, if your extension goes from being up here to being down here, you'll start seeing that they show too much. So they do recommend every 2 months you go back into the salon to get them redone. But the extension itself, it varies. Some extensions can last you, I would say, almost half a year, if not longer, if you take really, really good care of them. Not all of them though, let me explain. Tape-in extensions come in something like this, except they have a little plastic up here which gets taped to the base of your head. Those last about 3 uses. So if you gotta get them done every 2 months, they will last you total about 6 months. All right, the tape-ins for 22 inches at Belladonna cost around $100, and I would usually get around 2 packs for my hair, but it is because I do have thin hair. So if I put too much, it might look a little weird. But if you do have more hair, I would suggest going at least one more pack up. So out of pocket, you're paying around $200-300 for some tape-ins that are gonna last you 6 months. Now the price that your stylist might charge you to put them in varies depending on how much your stylist charge you. But that is about how much the tape-ins cost themselves. Now the main question I get is, do tape-ins cause hair breakage? You guys, there's so much controversy out there talking about these clip-ins are better than tape-ins, L-tips are better than tape-ins, are better than clip-ons. There's so much controversy out there, but I feel like as long as you take really good care of your hair, no pasa nada, because I've actually used tape-ins for like 2 years, and I must say I have zero complaints, no breakage, nothing. So in my personal opinion, the tape-ins were absolutely fine. The only thing with tape-ins is that I feel like you can't do too many updos because of the thickness of the extension. You see how it's like around this thick? Like if they tape them down like this and then I go and flip it up to do like a ponytail or something, I feel like it doesn't look right sometimes, you know, like it shows. So yeah, that is a little 411 on tape-ins. Next question is, how long do they last? Your tape-ins that you buy is gonna last you at least up to 6 months, okay? Clip-ins, I feel clip-ins can last you up to a year if you take really good care of them, because like you see here, clip-ins are not in 24/7. Clip-ins, you could put them on, take them off, put them on, take them off as much as you want. When I first got clip-ins, I would literally use them like 3 times a year. So they lasted me like 3-4 years because I would barely use them. Once I started not being able to live without them, I would use them at least 2-3 times a week. And at that point, they will last a little less than a year, depending on how much heat you put on them. Because you guys, for the most part, all extensions are real human hair. So you gotta treat this like if it was your hair. So the more heat you put on them, the more damage you cause to them, and the less they will last you, right? How do you maintain them for first timers? Like I previously said, hair extensions are usually real human hair if you get some good quality ones. So you gotta treat them like it's your hair, and even more so if you want them to last you longer. Because unlike our hair, our real hair grows out. So with time, you could chop off the bottom. You can cut off the dead ends with no problem, because you know your hair is gonna grow right back. These don't grow. So the more you use them, the more you beat them up, the more and more you have to give them a haircut, and the shorter they get, so they won't last you as long if you don't take good care of them. So what do I do to take good care of extensions? I use a good shampoo, a good conditioner, sulfate free. For clip-ins, I try not to wash them all the time. I'll wash them like every 3rd or 4th usage, unless I go to like a rodeo or jaripeo where I know that they get super dirty, then I'll wash them. But for the most part, a good shampoo, good conditioner. I do put mask on them too. If I've been using them too much, I'll put a mask on them. I do trim them sometimes. Like these are super old, okay? These are just for viewer purposes only. And of course, this goes for all hair extensions. Which one is less damaging for your hair? In my opinion, what damages your natural hair with any extensions is when you're brushing them super hard and not like holding them up here. Like I know every once in a while you guys might have a knot with any extensions. And if that happens, you have to hold your hair from somewhere up here and brush the rest, because if you're pulling like this on the knots, you're gonna tug at your natural hair on your roots and it's gonna break. So just a little FYI on that. Be super careful when brushing your hair. Let me see. Okay, which ones do you recommend for first timers? Okay, so for my babes out there that hate doing their hair, that don't really go out much, and that only want extensions on special events, I would totally recommend clip-in extensions, because these are easy to take off, because they are easy to put on, and you can take them off whenever you like. Also, they last you a super long time, so you definitely get your money's worth with these. If you want something more permanent and for the majority of the time your hair is always down, I would totally recommend the tape-ins, because I feel like they are a cheaper option. They are perfect if you wear your hair down every single day. And believe it or not, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you guys have tried on any of these, once you curl your tape-ins or your extensions, your hair will last you styled for days to come. The other option for something more permanent as far as extensions are the L-tips / micro beads that they're called, that I have added to my hair at the moment. And let me zoom in so you guys can see. So this is what they look like. As you can see, they have this little bead right here that clamp onto your natural hair. And they're actually super easy to remove. You just need pliers and you clamp them the opposite way and they literally just come right off. I would definitely say that L-tips are a lot more manageable if you like doing different styles on your hair. Because since all the strands are smaller and individual, whenever you do updos, whenever you put your hair back, they're easier to hide compared to a bigger weft with the tape-ins. But just take into consideration that these extensions are a little more pricey because they do take longer to install, and I feel like they are more manageable compared to the tape-ins. So somebody asked, how do I do it for them not to get tangled? I do brush them every single day, lightly brush. I do also braid my hair every night so it doesn't get tangled. And I also use what I always would use on my hair anyways, which is the detangler spray every once in a blue moon, some leave-in conditioner, and some light oil on my hair. Somebody asked me what clip-ins do I recommend, and to answer that question, some of my favorite extensions have been from the brand Luxie Hair Extensions. I do have 2 packs right here from them that I've used in the past, and I love these extensions compared to the Bellamy's because I have used Bellamy's in the past, but I feel like the Bellamy's are way too much hair, and whenever I would add them to my hair, I still had to go get them cut in order for them to blend in, to where Luxie extensions already come nicely blended, so you don't have to cut them. They also feel amazing, and the price point is a lot better than a lot of other extensions that I've seen in the past. How long are your hair extensions? The one that I currently have on, they sit right on top of my butt, are 22 inches. I usually go between 22 and 24. I don't really go longer than that. And also take note that the longer you want in your extensions, the more pricey they will be. And that is in all types of extensions. How do they feel on your head? Okay. This is kind of funny because you're going to be like, girl, what? Okay. Clip-ins, when you first start wearing them, they literally feel like you got a helmet on because they feel a little tight on your head, but after a few uses, you kind of get used to it and you don't even feel them no more. Tape-ins, I feel, are the ones that you least feel on your head at all, because whenever they put them on your head, they're not like to the root, they're a little bit below, so you don't really feel them, and they're flat, so when you go to sleep, you don't feel them at all, right? And then the L-tips, aka these micro beads that I have in, these were a little trippy for me because, like I've said, clip-ins, I would take them off. You don't use them, you take them off every night, right? So I would never fall asleep with them unless I was lit one day and I forgot, and but at that point, I don't even know nothing, right? But actually, these L-tips that I have, whenever I first went to sleep with them, it literally felt like I was sleeping on I don't even know how to explain it. Like a bumpier, hard pillow. So it was a little trippy at first, but after 2-3 nights of sleep, you get used to it. But it's not something where it's hard to fall asleep. It just feels a little different. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Do extensions rip out your hair? No, girl, they do not rip out your hair. Unless you go fight somebody and they rip off your head, then it's gonna rip off. But other than that, they don't rip off. Remember, you just gotta lightly brush, and once you get more up, you can still brush through it. I did forget to mention, once you start brushing towards the root, it's the same thing as brushing your normal hair. Unless your extensions are super grown out, then that's when you have to make sure you don't pull on them. But in that case, girl, you just gotta go get them redone because they're probably looking a little crusty at that point. I don't brush my hair to the scalp anymore. I just kind of brush it from down here. And yeah, that is that. Do they feel heavy? Oh my God, you guys. Honestly, no. Unless you get super, super long hair, then of course, yes, it's gonna feel heavy because the hair is super, super long. But if you get anything between 22 and shorter, I feel like it's not heavy at all. Sometimes if you do put a lot of grams in your hair, meaning if you buy a lot of packs, if you want a lot of volume, I would say whenever you wash it and your hair is wet, it does feel heavy. Before I forget, I will say though, if it does feel heavy, if you bought some extensions and they feel heavy, I will recommend you going to a good stylist, your hairstylist, and getting them thinned out or even getting them a little bit shorter. Because at one point, once upon a time, I got super long extensions And I told myself, Lily, just put them in because you look like a baddie and hopefully you'll get used to them. But I did not because, you know, we live in Florida and I'm always in the water. I'm always in the beach. So my hair would get super, super heavy whenever my hair got wet, to the point where I was like, you know what? Let me just go get them cut. I got them cut and thinned out on the ends, and bro, it made a world of difference. So if you already bought extensions, if you already opened them, which I forgot to get into that, yeah, just go get them cut. It's fine. It's like if it was hair. But like I was saying, I was going to get into it. A lot of hair extensions come with a little sealant like this that read, cannot return or exchange if opened. So if you do buy a pack that you can't return and they do feel heavy, go get them cut, girl. No pasa nada. For clip-ins, they usually give you an extra one on the side that you can open up and color match with your hair. So one side you can open, and if si no te quedaron, you just return it without opening the main side. But for the most part, a lot of them do come with the sealant telling you cannot open. But it just depends what kind of extensions you get. At the end of the video, I will tell you which are my favorite clip-ons, tape-ins, and L-tips. Somebody asked me, are they worth the money? Girl, yes. Anytime I recommend extensions to my friends, they're like, bruh, where have I been this whole time without hair extensions? Because it makes a world of difference, especially if you don't have thick hair. Girl, it's gonna change your life, girl. Just invest in a good pair, and I promise you, once you get used to them and start putting them in, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? What was I doing this whole time? This is me telling you guys 12 years later, and I'm still using extensions. How much are clip-ins? And the clip-ins that I recommend from Luxy are usually around $300, $400, $500, depending what exactly you want. Because remember, the longer you get, the more it costs. So the ones that I usually get, and I'm looking at it right now, are around $379 for 24-inch clip-ins for their thick version. If you go onto Luxy's website, they will give you a lot of different options. They have 2 different clip-in options. They have classic and seamless. So the seamless compared to the classic, the only difference is that the seamless are more seamless. They're thinner, so they're not as noticeable, or when somebody holds your head like this, they won't feel them as much. But that's literally it. Only if people are literally grabbing your hair. So the seamless are a little more pricier than the classic. But let's go with the classic. If you're a first timer, I would say just go for the classic. Cheaper, and that way you could get used to them. And then from there, you do pick which kind you want. One thing that I didn't mention, if you have super, super thin hair, I would recommend going with the fine and medium hair. They help you along the way. If you, like in the description, if you have thicker hair, choose thick. And if you want super long, push long. Can you wash your hair having extensions? Yes. Except clip-ins. Clip-ins are the only ones that you should take off when you're washing them, and wash them separately. But the rest you can wash as if it was your natural hair. And yeah, somebody asked, I want to buy Amazon extensions, do you recommend? Okay, so the question comes because I had an event to go to last minute. I had recently dyed my hair dark. I didn't have extensions. I needed them next day. So I actually bought some on Amazon, which I'm gonna leave linked right here. They were literally super cheap compared to a lot of extensions. They claim to be real hair. Are they? I'm not sure, but I will say that I do recommend them because they felt super nice. They didn't tangle. They held up with the heat well. I was able to wash them and all. But I don't know how long they will last you, just because I literally only wore them for less than a week. And for the most part, real clip-in extensions should last you from 6 months to a year, depending how long you use them. So yeah, if you want to try them out, like I said, I will leave them linked right here, and hopefully you love them. Do they cut extensions after they put them on? Yes, they do. If you want them to cut them shorter, if you want them to blend them in, they could do all of that with any extensions. Can you apply heating tools? Yes, you guys. If you are buying real extensions, you can apply any heat tools to them. Personally, I never go to the highest heat setting, not even on my real hair. Personal preference, just because I feel like the higher temperature, the more it will damage your hair or your extensions. So yes, you can apply any heat to them. And just don't forget to add your heat protector, and you should be good. How much money are they? So like I said earlier, it is hard for me to tell you one specific price, because it depends on the hair color that you get, it depends on the length that you get, and it depends on how many packs you get. The ones that I currently have in right now, I would say are about 2.5 packs. And the place that I go to is always having deals on hair. I don't know off the top of my head right now how much it costs, but on their website, they are always throwing the prices out there. Those prices include installation already. And again, it just depends on the length and how many packs you want. Most people always get around 2 packs just to get a feel for them at the beginning and then go from there. If you guys want a ton of hair, dale girl. Last but not least, one of the top questions was, how do you make them blend so well with your hair? I feel like major key is to make sure that the actual color of the extension matches your hair. Number 2, something that I mentioned earlier, if you have thin hair naturally, I would suggest getting extensions that are not too thick or not getting too many packs put in your hair. And if you have thicker hair, adding more hair. For example, if your hair is super thick already and then you want longer hair, so then the top of your hair is this thick and the bottom is this thin because you only got 1 pack, that's an example of why people with thicker hair should get more hair. And then that's why I suggest people with thinner hair get a little less packages, which will then help blend everything together. And of course, at the end of the day, if you still want them blended a little more, your hairstylist could go ahead, blend them in, thin them out, cut them like they would any normal hair. But yeah, you guys, that is it for today. I hope you guys learned a little something about hair extensions. I did talk about clip-ins, tape-ins, and L-tips only because those are the only ones that I've ever tried. But I feel like for the majority of them, you take care of them the same, you brush them the same, you could use heat the same way. But if you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will answer them as best as I can, girl, because like I said earlier, I am not a professional. This is just my experience with these type of hair extensions in the past. And yeah, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.